Right now, as you're watching this, somewhere between 30 and 70 people are playing this game. That's it. That's the whole server. But it wasn't always like this. This game once had somewhere between 1 and 2 million owners on Steam. Millions of people downloaded it, played it, farmed zombies, built camps, grinded gear. So what happened? Where did everyone go? And is this actually a dead game, or just a small one that got left behind? Before we get into the decline, let's talk about what this game actually was. Because if you never played it, the pitch is genuinely solid. Dead Maze is a 2D top-down zombie survival MMO. You wake up in a destroyed contemporary world overrun with the undead, and the entire loop is built around exploration and scavenging. You loot buildings, craft gear, build up a camp, and survive hordes of zombies that actually coordinate to hunt you down instead of just shambling at you one at a time. It's got crafting, base building, co-op play, PvP zones, character progression, basically all the systems you'd want from a survival MMO, but packaged into something with a cartoony, almost charming art style instead of full-on grimdark horror. For a lot of players, it scratched an itch that bigger, more serious survival games didn't, something you could hop into casually with friends without a 40-hour learning curve. Here's the part most players never knew. Dead Maze's story doesn't start in 2015 when it was announced. It starts back in 2008. That's when Jean-Baptiste Lemarchand, known online as Tigrunet, and later the co-CEO of Atelier 801, started prototyping an ambitious survival game completely on his own, in Flash. He documented the process on forums as he went. And then, life happened. The project got shelved after months of solo work. But the idea never fully died. Years later, Lemarchand co-founded Atelier 801, a small French indie studio that became known for one very successful browser game, Transformis. And once Transformis was established, the studio circled back to that old survival game concept. Except this time, they had an entire team, a player base, and years of experience behind them. They teased it as an April Fool's joke on April 1st, 2015. A week later, it was officially real, under the name Dead Maze. This is genuinely a cool underdog story, a small studio's passion project, over a decade in the making, before it ever launched. From there, development moved fast by indie standards. Closed alpha started in November 2016. It went into open beta and got its first real public reveal in July 2017. And on February 13, 2018, Dead Maze fully launched on Steam, and it worked. Estimates put Dead Maze somewhere between 1 and 2 million owners on Steam, which for a small studio whose only other release was a browser game, is a massive number. This wasn't a niche flop. This was a genuine hit, at least in terms of reach. For a couple of years, this was a thriving little MMO, active servers, a real community, regular seasonal events. This was the peak. Here's the answer. And it's not some big dramatic controversy. It's honestly kind of an unglamorous, quietly brutal one. Dead Maze's browser version was built on Flash. The client ran on ActionScript 3. And at the end of 2020, Adobe officially killed Flash Player entirely. Every major browser, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Edge, stripped out Flash support. For a lot of games, that would have just meant switch to the standalone client, no big deal. And Dead Maze DID have a Steam version that wasn't directly killed by this. But here's the catch. Players on the Steam forums directly confirmed that the studio didn't have the funding to properly port the game to a new platform and keep pushing meaningful updates. So what you got wasn't an announcement that said, Dead Maze is shutting down. It was something quieter and honestly more painful to watch as a community. Updates just slowed, then mostly stopped. No big final patch, no closure, just silence. You can actually see this play out in real time in old Steam discussion threads. Players debating whether the game was abandoned or just not being updated right now. Some holding on to hope for over a year, waiting for one more patch that never really came. That kind of slow fade is honestly a harder way for a community to process than a clean shutdown. There's no funeral, just a game that gets quieter every month. So where does that leave Dead Maze in 2026? Concurrent player counts are small. Trackers put it somewhere in the 50 to 70 range on Steam right now, down dramatically from its early peak. This is, by any definition, a niche game now. But, and this is the part I actually find kind of heartwarming, it hasn't fully died. There's still a small, genuinely dedicated player base logging in. And the community cares enough that it's not just passively waiting anymore. There's at least one fan-made passion project underway, someone building a Dead Maze V2 essentially from scratch, on their own, because the original developers went quiet and nobody else was going to keep the idea alive. Sound familiar? It's basically the exact same story as 2008 all over again. One person, alone, trying to keep a survival game concept from disappearing. So, is Dead Maze a dead game? Technically, no. People are still playing it right now, today, as you watch this. But it's also clearly not what it was. It's a game that got caught in the crossfire of a platform dying out from under it, run by a studio that couldn't afford to save it in time. Maybe the more honest question isn't, is it dead? It's, was it ever given a fair shot to survive? If you played Dead Maze back in 2018, or if you're one of the 60-ish people still logging in right now, let me know in the comments. I want to hear what kept you coming back.